Greetings patrons, Shadowfrax here, welcome to this month's video, and I wanted to give you a sneak peek behind the scenes of what I'm working on. As you know, we can now make custom maps in Rust, and here I am with one that I've been working on. I'm going to call it Mad Frax, because it's supposed to be an arid biome only desert map with sort of half buried monuments, and I shall show you what it looks like in reality very shortly. But I just wanted to give you an overview of how it looks in the editor. This is Killu's editor, and as you can see, this is a completely sand-covered map. No water apart from, well, I'll show you the little bits that I've put in. And the monuments are actually partially buried. Everything's partially buried. It's kind of what I'd like to think of as a post-apocalyptic map, where the already decayed structures have been buried by some sort of sandstorm tsunami thing. This is a 3x3 map. I'm hoping to make it so that people can actually play on it. I'm trying to add in monuments and balance it and put plenty of interesting things in there for people to find, discover and build around. So let me load it up and I'll show you. I'll give you a guided tour. Okay, so I've just spawned in and it seems to have worked. Alright, this bit isn't sandy. This is a verdant sort of little section, but I had to put this in here because at the moment you can only spawn in a temperate area, but I wanted the rest to be arid, you see. You can't spawn in an arid biome, unfortunately, but that's soon going to change because they're going to put in spawn zones that you can set manually, like prefabs, and you can put them on the map, so you can have people spawn anywhere. The temperate biome sand is a lot lighter than the arid biome sand, and it just looks weird. Because if I don't have this as arid, then I won't be able to spawn palm trees, and I want to spawn palm trees. So let me give you a little tour of the map. As you can see, it looks pretty good, like a massive old wasteland. Where I started was in the center with the sphere tank, and as you can see here, it's more like a dome than a sphere now. It is actually a proper dome. It's quite easy to climb as a result. Actually, this is a little bit tricky because of the angle. But you can climb up the outside a lot easier, actually. I've turned radiation off just in case you wonder why I'm not buzzing. A little bit easier to get your loot, but you are more exposed. People can see where you are. Now, from up here, you can get a good view over the land. Over in that corner, we have a lighthouse, which I'll show you in a moment. Over in that corner, there is the power station, which is also half buried. And if we go over here, there's the harbour over there. Oh, and I might also mention that I'm going to be putting buried power lines stretching from one monument to the other. So they're going to act like roads, because obviously the roads are all covered, but you will see these power lines sticking out of the ground, and you can follow those from monument to monument, such as here with these pylons. The large pylons will lead you straight to the power station. Although you can pretty much see all the monuments from wherever you are, which is jolly handy. Buried bus stop just there. I think, yeah, you can just about get inside this. So you could, I guess, build a base which incorporates that as a kind of small loot room. And here's the power station. These things are on the wonk. They're on the old lean here. They've tipped over, which means it's easy to get up onto them. But all the other buildings, unfortunately, have been buried. You can't get to those, apart from this one over here. And this was unintentional to start with, but I liked it, so I kept it. Whereas you would normally have to work your way up this building, you can actually get in the top here, and there are crates in here, and the power's still on. And here's another guard tower, just the top of it poking out. Because of the way that these things work, the crates float above wherever they should be and end up on the ground, so it's quite a nice place to loot. That just looks really nice. I'm just going to work my way round the map from the power station now. Here we've got the gas station. I just love the sort of half-buried, sand-filled shops. Look, the toilet, the sink's all full. Can't use that. You can get through the doors if you crouch, which is nice. And yeah, this is fully functional. And I've also made it so that you can get down into the cave underneath, just in case you wanted to. So although this is a desert map, I have put in one or two little bits of water and places to get water as well. I've put wells in. So this one is what I call the Oasis. It's by far the biggest body of water you'll find here. I have actually put a little surprise just underwater. It's down here somewhere. There we go. There is actually underwater a small substation. Not much reason to dive under here, but it's a little Easter egg. I'd like to build a base here. I think this would be a very popular place to build. Although it is saltwater, so you would need a desalinator. And that's what I'd like it to be. I'd like you to have to struggle a bit from water. Come over to the harbour. A harbour like you've probably never seen one before. Sand instead of water. Functions pretty much the same. You can still get to the recycler down here, and there's a bit of topology here which you can add in the editor. You can add oceanside topology, and if you do that, you get boat spawn. So all the boats that should spawn on this server, I think pretty much spawn here, which is perfect because this is where they should be. Moving on, something else I also wanted to put in here was the old caves, because I love the old caves, and I want to have several on the map. I think I've put 3 on this map so far. These have got water in. In this cluster of rocks, I have a well, and there's, I think, 3 wells on this map. Yeah, everyone has got some trees around it, because obviously that's where the water is. So where the water is, you'll find trees. And then coming over to the lighthouse. The Leaning Lighthouse of Pizza. It's really weird because when you go in and climb up, you really feel the lean. You just have to try it for yourself. It's weird. This is a bit hairy here because you're actually leaning backwards as you're climbing the ladder, which is not very comforting. Anyway, I might make that lean a bit more. I'm not sure. There we got another old cave. I've been putting little node fields around. I'm just experimenting to see, because you've got to put a mix of topologies in. I think you've got to put decor and clutter in order to get nodes to appear. And I've just put a little rain catcher in there. Not that there's any rain, but you will get water out of that. I like this. I like this. I put a couple of pump jacks in. One buried one there, you can't use that one. But this one is fully functional. It's on the wonk again, but it's fully functional. You can get some crude out of that. Something about abandoned pump jacks. This over here is probably my favourite. This here is the other oasis, but it's a hidden oasis. You wouldn't know it until you get round to here. And then, as you can see, you've got this nice sort of watery cavern area, which you can go through and get into an almost secluded cave. You can jump in from the top. I put together a few rock clusters and made this, and I was quite pleased with it. Okay, so we've got a quarry here. I believe this is a sulfur one. I might put another one in for stone. I don't know whether I put all 3 quarries in. I might do. Got a warehouse here. I've made sure that you can get to all of the important bits. Another well over this side. Actually, this is probably my favourite of all the wells, because it is actually made of an old water tower, and I think that's significant. This is sort of the biggest rock cluster area. I may make this a little bit more dense. I'm not sure. I don't want to make the map too busy, but at the same point I don't want too much empty, unusable space. One more well. This one is actually in an oasis itself. It's sunken down, so it was a good place to build it, even though this is salt water, but you can get fresh water out of there. And then over here somewhere, I think we've got a sperm ket. So we have our desert sperm ket. And I don't know why, this just reminds me, you know, when you get really bad flooding, and it's horrible when it happens to someone. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's good in that way, but when you get the tide has come in, or there's been a mudslide or something, and buildings are half full of sand, or you get those abandoned houses in the desert that just get filled up with sand, and something really wonderfully bleak about them. That's what I like about this. Of course, again, I've made sure that you can get to your hobo barrels and your recyclers. Everything is still functional. It just looks really good. It just looks really, really good, and I love it. And I think that this would be an excellent map to play on. I'm just wondering, actually, what it would look like with some fog. Hold on. Okay, turn the fog on. Ooh, that looks spooky. That actually looks pretty good. I might turn it into a Terminus server. Madfrax Terminus. Of course, this isn't finished by any means. This is just a work in progress, and me fiddling about and fleshing this thing out so that it's an enjoyable map to play on and something really different. But I have to put in more spawns for all the different things that you would expect, plus some junk piles and things like that. But I would welcome your suggestions. and I'm working on some sort of way to bring this to you so you can play on it. So watch this space and I'll let you know. But I thought you'd just like to see this behind the scenes on my progress. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and carry on surviving. Cheerio.